I'm still not a pro at this. Oh my god, look at this guy, bro. What a... So I've been riding in really crappy winter weather for like the last month, and a lot of you guys have been asking what it is that I rock for winter gear. So this is a Kirkland jacket that I rock all the time. It has a fuzzy liner inside of it, and I just rock a t-shirt underneath. I even got Julian one, show him.
Yeah,
it's the exact same, right? What do you think?
I love it. It's so warm.
I used to use this turtleneck thing from Solomon. It's for like snowboarding or skiing. But what I learned was like tighter clothes don't actually create a layer for your body warmth to circulate, I guess. So the fuzzy stuff on this jacket kind of helps separate my skin and leaves like a pocket of air for me to stay completely warm. For my pants, I just rock Dickies, but underneath them, I have these waffle bottoms that I got from the army. It's really nothing special, but these surprisingly keep me warm. And there's something I learned also about keeping my legs warmer. This is my Alpinestars GP Plus R perforated jacket. Perforated means there's a bunch of holes in it, so it's a summer jacket. It is a size 44. I normally wear a size 42, but I knew with this jacket, sometimes it gets a little bit chilly in the winter weathers here in the PNW, and even in the light summer months. And I want to rock a hoodie underneath it. So what I do, bam, yam, shabam, just like that. See this right here? If I leave it open like this, my neck gets extremely cold. So I actually have it zipped up like that. It keeps me extremely warm, especially in the neck area. That's one of the places that gets really, really cold, especially if you're riding in the wintertime. These are the boots that I prefer to wear in the wintertime. These are perforated as well, and these are also summer boots. These are my SMX Plus Rs, and these are my TCX riding shoes. They're non-perforated, so I thought these would be really good in the wintertime and they would help keep my feet warm. But actually, so the fact that my pants are loose like this, air actually flows underneath and up my leg, and it makes my legs extremely cold. As opposed to these, my pants stay in there, so there's no wind crawling up my legs. Everything's kind of covered up like this, and surprisingly my toes stay pretty warm even though they have all these holes in them. So yeah, I rock a summer jacket and summer boots in the winter, and it keeps me extremely warm. So these gloves are my Revit gloves, and they're actually not that warm. This is probably like the most important part of riding in the cold, is getting good gloves. Gloves that'll keep you warm when you're riding. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do a decent job, but I honestly thought they would be a lot warmer. I haven't tried wearing anything underneath it because they're already pretty tight on me. I don't use latex gloves underneath. I have in the past when I used to commute to like FedEx ground. This was when I was younger and I was on my first bike. I would commute there and it'd be like 30-degree weather, and it worked. I mean, I don't know, a lot of people said it doesn't work for them. Maybe they're like more sensitive to the cold than I am. Like I said, these are cold right now, but I mean, they don't bother me as much as, I don't know, somebody else might be bothered. But look at this weather. It's horrible. Really, really shitty. One of the things that I'm glad I started doing is actually riding in the winter. One, it forced me to motovlog. Two, it just gave me a little bit more confidence in my tires. Three, I get to go ride no matter what the weather is. Granted, I haven't been in too much like really, really severe weather, but in weather like this, before this whole month, I would not have gone out. I would have been like, you know what? It's too cold, it's too wet, it's too dumb to be out here. But honestly, it's not too bad. I like the fact that there's nobody else on the road, at least like for motorcycles. Sometimes I just want to be by myself, and Ruston, the area that I go to by the water, is notorious for having a lot of motorcycles there all the time. And sometimes I just don't want to talk to people, man. I just want to get my coffee and go on about my day. I feel like as a motorcyclist, when you see other motorcyclists, especially out on the road, it's like you have to strike up a conversation with them. And sometimes it takes like 30 to 45 minutes of my time. I'm not against meeting new people, but sometimes I just want to be like, oh, cool bike, man, later. I guess it goes back to the thing that I always say, like, you don't always have to be friends with everybody just because they ride. Now, these things, these are freaking slick, man. Even like just when my bike is straight up, my rear tire will slide. That's how slick they are. It's so crazy. Another thing that I started learning, I mean, this is something I never noticed before, but it sounds obvious now, is the temperatures are a lot lower when it's like raining or gloomy like this. It's actually really nice to ride in. It's not like intensely hot like in the summertime. So like riding to a coffee shop and getting a hot coffee, ooh, it makes it that much nicer. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm pretty excited for spring and summer. I can't wait to start doing track days. I'm still kind of in that bind where I'm waiting to see what the next couple months looks like with YouTube, because at this rate, if we keep growing, I'll be able to do this like full time, man, which I'm super excited about. I was watching a live from my buddy Mike. He's a motor vlogger too. You guys may know him. He goes by Clutch First New York. He had a dude on there, the Why Not Ride guy, the guy that does like Shaw Dude or whatever. That dude mentioned like content creation and how he said he didn't want to do this as a job because it would just make it not fun, because this is something that he does for fun. But he also talked about this as a business, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm buying that, bro. Like, imagine being able to do this as a business, right? As work. You always hear people say like, oh, you know, if you do something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Which, you know, a lot of that is not true to an extent. But for somebody like me who just loves motorcycles and loves riding around out here and, you know, making a few bucks off of it, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that, dude? You know? That's why when he said that, I just kind of found it hard to believe. It's just, I don't know. You can't talk about YouTube or social media as a business and then say, oh, I don't want it to be my full-time gig if it depended on me posting something. I mean, there's some dudes that just post like really shitty rides, or like them going to a freaking motorcycle shop to get their bikes flashed, and they get like, you know, hundreds of thousands of views and they get paid. And it's just like, really? Like, you really believe that you wouldn't do that because it wouldn't be fun anymore? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't click in my head. Maybe he was just saying that to sound all high and mighty, but man, I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not buying that. You know what's cool though? Like, the main streets, when it's wet like this, the highways are actually way more dry, because obviously there's more cars on there and they're all kind of going on the same direction. There's not like many different streets to go on if it's the highway. So riding on the highway is sometimes a little bit nicer, especially in really crappy weather. So there's another tip for you guys. Sometimes I miss being a school kid, man. No worries in life. What is this guy doing? Oh, he's got a flat. Oh shit. Crackheads. God damn crackheads. Gee whiz. There's like breathing techniques you could do too when your visor starts to fog up. Instead of like breathing in and out with your nose, you could breathe in with your nose and then out with your mouth, and kind of like point that breath downwards. Somebody said they wanted to see more crackhead content, and I'm on this street called Hosmer. This is where they are, man. This is where they live, where they gather, and this is where this is where they reproduce. Oh, gee whiz. Why is it sprinkling? Golly. Well, drop a golly gee whiz if you like this video. I'm not really trying to get coffee right now, but tomorrow the RSV4 has to go into the shop, and I think it'll be there for like a day or two while they change out my valve cover gaskets and the O-rings and stuff like that, and hopefully that'll get rid of the oil seepage that's happening with this bike right now. There's a lot of people on the forums that have just kind of lived with it, and yeah, I mean, my bike's still under warranty, and that's not something I'm willing to do. Even if it wasn't under warranty, I would still change it. Oh, it is sprinkling. It's really not too bad, man. Something I do when my hands get cold at stops, I'll just put my hand like right on the frame of the motorcycle, just like this, and it warms it up enough, especially when it's really cold. I am a lot more careful in turns. I mean, I should trust my tires, but you're usually around, especially around stoplights, there's these white markers. It's really annoying. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. It doesn't seem like people want Suron content anymore. I made like one little Suron review video, and I thought it was pretty good, but maybe it wasn't, or maybe just you guys don't give a crap about the Surons. Which is understandable, you know. I mean, motorcyclists, we are kind of hard-headed. Don't really want to try other things. I think the Surround is definitely worth it though if you own a motorcycle. And don't talk shit to me because I got my stuff for free, alright? I had bought like a bunch of them before I even got a chance to get one sponsored. So the downside to riding in like really crappy weather is trying to find people to ride with. I mean, nobody that I know wants to ride in this weather. The majority of sport bike riders in Washington State, you could consider them fair weather riders. I don't mean that in a derogatory term. I just mean that as like, well, people don't want to ride in the wet. People are already miserable in this weather like 8 months out of the year. You really think people want to ride their motorcycles in this weather on purpose? If it wasn't for this channel and motovlogging, I wouldn't be freaking out here, dude. But I digress. Like I said, this is probably the most fun I've had because it's such an interesting and unique experience that I've never really done before on purpose. Of course, I've gotten stuck in crappy weather, but I've never purposely came out here while the weather was really crappy. One thing you really got to be wary of is other drivers in really crappy weather. I mean, their windows are already like either fogged up or filled with like water and rain, and sometimes they can't see. Just be very wary. I would say either stay in front of them or like behind them. Don't stay like right next to them because they could easily just move over into your lane, and you already know that that's like a blind spot for us. Basically, just think of you driving in the car, and if you have a car that has a lot of blind spots, that's something to consider when you're riding out here on your bike. I'm still not a pro at this. Oh my god, look at this guy, bro. What a douchebag. Slow the f down. It is coming down, man. Something really important to note too is don't speed. It's not worth it, dude. Your stopping distance and other people's stopping distance is increased. Basically what I'm saying is use common sense, you dingbats. I gotta find a place to do an appreciation stop. I forgot that the coffee shop down there is closed on Mondays, so I may just have to get coffee at home today. It might even be a good idea to just turn around and go home. You guys got the gist of this vlog. I know there's a few people in here that said they want to start motovlogging or they are motovlogging. Let me know if you guys want some tips on anything that I've learned thus far. Been doing this for 5 years, and if I could start over today, I feel like I would grow my channel a lot faster than I did the first time, just because of all the things that I've learned, especially through TikTok and using short form content to grow an audience and to grow a brand. I think right now, especially with everybody's attention span like getting shorter and shorter, it's going to be important to be like a hybrid creator rather than being just a long form creator or just a short form creator. When I was making short form videos only, people were asking like, do you do any long form? And I'm like, yeah, I tried YouTube back in the day, but it just wasn't for me. And a lot of people on TikTok were like, please try again. Keep your style the way it is now, but make it a longer form. And so I did, and that's why I'm back on YouTube. And I think part of my growth success has been due to the fact that I can make both short and long form content. If you're interested in learning how to motovlog, I might, holy shit, oh my god, get new tires, lady. Oh man. If you are interested in some like how to motovlog or how to create a motorcycle brand type of content, let me know in the comments below, because I could definitely do that. It's still within that niche of motorcycles, and I want to help you guys out as much as possible. I do want to bring more people into this channel, like some of my friends or some kind of guests or something like that, but creating content every single day, it's very difficult to try to schedule some people every single day to be on here. If you're getting bored of me, just let me know and I'll post less. I know there was one guy, I was like, I'm not really into the daily thing. I feel like people will get tired of it. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of get tired of myself too, and I have to be myself. Alright, we'll do this appreciation stop and then we'll head home for some coffee. Woo! I'm not gonna go all the way out there today. So I just want to turn around after this appreciation stop and head home. I mean, can you guys even see? It's all water spots on the GoPro. Gee whiz, look at this baby, man. Golly, welcome back to the channel. My name is Double Moto, and this is the channel where we stop and appreciate our bikes. We ride in straight lines back and forth on the same street, talk a bunch of crap, do some revving, and yeah, and then we go home and drink coffee. So if that's something that's interesting to you, welcome. Comment down below, subscribe if you're new. Yeah, I gotta take this bike in tomorrow, so might be out of the RSV4 for 2 or 3 days. Shitty. It's such a long drive too. One of the downsides to owning an Aprilia, when you need warranty work done and it's not like right across the street from you, it's usually a nice long drive, the dealership. So wish they had more. A little bit inconvenient, but that's okay. It's something I could fix myself too, but again, why would I? Warranty. Gee whiz, this thing dirty, bro. Golly, I've been riding this thing in the crappy weather for too long. What a beauty. Look at that. Woo. Can this be a thumbnail? Gee whiz. Alright, I'm gonna turn it around. Golly, gee whiz. Look at that beauty. Alright, let's get some revs going, bros. Woo. Yes, sir. Yeah. Golly. If I could give you guys any more tips, it would be to just come out here and do it on purpose. Practice, man. Practice makes perfect. You don't have to go far. You can go, you know, a few miles away from your house, turn around and come right back just to see what it feels like. The importance of learning how to ride in crappy weather is really for the times that you need it. I'm not saying go out there and ride in this every day, every chance that you get, unless you're like that person who has to commute on a motorcycle or likes commuting in this. Good for you, but go experience it once. When you do end up getting stuck in crappy weather, you already know what to do, you have a feel for it. And something that I learned in the past, if you don't have the confidence or don't want to get soaking wet, it's okay to pull over, find some shade, and wait it out. A lot of times, like really crappy weather is not constant. It'll be like a downpour, and then it'll clear up or slow down eventually, enough to get you to where you need to go, a gas station, your destination, wherever the hell it is. See, just a few seconds ago, it was coming down. I rode about a mile straight, and now it's just not coming down at all. So riding in shitty weather doesn't mean you're gonna be in shitty weather the whole time, but sometimes it does. It really sucks. And if you don't have the right gear or the right attitude or a little bit of experience, it can be extremely scary and super hard, and you may have a tough time. One of the biggest things I learned how to do was just to relax and really just trust my tires.